Hey, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how I was able to make $46,665 for a beauty business using Facebook ads. And I'm not just going to show you the ad account setup or, any ads or anything like that. I'm actually going to show you what the exact process was to building out a marketing strategy for this brand, and then coming up with a follow-up system and a ad account structure that would allow them to book consistent high-ticket appointments all throughout the month. So I'm going to get straight into it. I hope you can get some value out of this. So here's just a proof of results. So this is from inside the Facebook ad account. You can see here that we got 856 leads so far, and they're coming in for about $9.50 each, with a total spend so far of about $8,200. So these are the results that we're getting currently. And this is basically all of the leads that have come in for this business. So the breakdown for the revenue of this. So the service price for this service that we were advertising was $649, but it came down to $549, and I'll talk about that later. The total leads that we had come in was 856, which you just saw, and we were converting roughly 10% of the leads coming in into a booked appointment for that 549. So that works out to 85 appointments for $549 each, which comes up to just over $46,000 in revenue generated. So this is all from about $8,000 of ad spend. So more than a 5x return on the ad spend that they're actually putting towards Facebook ads, which is really good. So this service is obviously a higher ticket beauty service. You can run ads for lower ticket services, but for lead generation, if you're getting inquiries, you can understand that if you're paying around $10 for a lead, you can't really sell a service for $20 or $30 to those people. So this is definitely for beauty brands and beauty service-based businesses that are running ads for services that are over $500. That's generally what I would advise. You can make it work for less, but generally $500 is what I would recommend starting at. So if you have a service that's $500, this can definitely work for you. So how can you do the same thing with Facebook ads for your beauty business? I'm going to get into exactly what we did to set this up. So the first thing is the offer. So the offer that you're going to run in your ads is going to be the highest leverage part of your marketing strategy. So if you have a bad offer, you're not advertising something that's attractive that makes people want to click on the ad, you're not going to get good results with the ads, no matter how good of a creative you make. No matter how good the video or image, people are not going to click on it. So if you can get this right, it really doesn't matter as much about what you're doing in terms of advertising or strategy. You're going to get great results if you have a great offer. And I stole this value equation here from Alex Hormozi, but basically what you want to use this equation for is to figure out what you're lacking in your offer and how you can improve it. So for the dream outcome and the perceived likelihood achievement, these are the positive things that you want a lot of in your ad. And then the negatives are what you want to reduce, the time delay and the effort and sacrifice. So the dream outcome and the perceived likelihood of achievement for a beauty business should be quite easy to convey, because all you need to do is basically show off your past work, your past results. Most beauty businesses have heaps of past clients that they can show their work and what they've done for them. And you can actually show that it's very likely you're going to make someone look and feel a lot more confident because you've done it for all of these other women as well. What you need to focus on reducing is the effort and sacrifice. So for some of these more expensive treatments, there could be some pain involved. They could take a while to actually do the treatment. They might have to come back multiple times. They might have to spend quite a lot of money. There's lots of things that people are going to consider and are basically going to be reasons that people will not book an appointment with you. So when you're creating your offer, you need to come up with something that reduces these negative things on the bottom half of the equation. And then you want to have your ads and your offer really delve into that dream outcome and that perceived likelihood of achievement. And that's going to bring your value of your offer way up and make it easy to convert people into leads. So now I'm going to show you what offer we ran, and I'll explain a little bit how it relates to the value equation. But the first time customer, $100 off your first appointment. Now, This is a super basic offer, but for high ticket treatments, a lot of the front end discounts do work really well, because when you're running ads to attract people in and you have so much margin to basically eat into with your discount, you can afford to give larger discounts for these high ticket treatments. And the extra value that you're adding by bringing people in for these high ticket treatments is that while you might lose $100 on a $650 service, you then bring that person into your ecosystem and they can now be remarketed and upsold to with lower ticket treatments. So even though you might pay, $10 for your lead and you might give them a $100 discount, so you've paid $110 to get that customer, they come in, they spend $500, you make a profit regardless, and then you can upsell them into a bunch of other low ticket treatments like lashes and other things like that. And now that customer's spending $600 a year with you on top of that. So you've only paid $110, but that customer's going to bring you $600 every year. So that's why you need to think about the long-term value of your customers. The reason that this offer is very good relative to the value equation is that a lot of the effort and sacrifice part that people are against for these high ticket treatments is the price, and they don't want to pay full price for the service. So by offering a limited time $100 discount, people are much more likely to give you their contact information because they're like, oh, well, I've always been interested in this service. I'll go with this company because they're doing a special promotion. One of the other things that you can help sort of, differentiate yourself from your competitors is by actually having a name for the offer. So you can call it, an XYZ transformation, use some cool name, use some alliteration and make it sound attractive. But naming your offer can be a really good way to basically bring people in because they think it's a special offer relative to everyone else. And when you've got a name for your offer, people often think, oh, well, I can't get this anywhere else because no one else has the same name for that offer. So it's a super good way that you can differentiate yourself. So that's something that we did as well. So our $100 discount actually has a special name. It doesn't really mean anything, but it just makes it sound unique and like a one-of-one offer, which is very important. So the key to converting. So leads are 60 times more likely to book if you contact them in the first 10 minutes, according to Harvard. So this is a study that was done quite a while ago, but basically they did a study and they found that companies that contacted people in the first 10 minutes compared to companies that contacted them after the 10 minutes were 60 times more likely to convert them into an actual booked appointment or close them into a sale. So this is a process that we've actually automated and set up for our clients. So you can see that they submit their lead, or the lead comes in and they submit their form, and within 5 minutes they're contacted via SMS. And this makes it much more likely that all of these leads are going to book in an appointment, as opposed to if you were just running ads and calling the leads once or twice a day, where leads are waiting hours or even 12 hours to get a response from you. So this is something that we actually set up and helped our client dial in so that she could be still working, but having automated follow-ups going out to the leads so that conversations have already been started by the time she's finished and she's able to respond to them and call them to book them in for this treatment. So I'll now show you the follow-up sequence and how we actually set up the ad account as well. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can set the exact same system up for your business so that you can get very similar results to this. Okay, so I'm in here in the Go High Level funnel. This is the platform that I personally use for all of my clients, and this is how we can follow up with leads instantaneously, which is what I was telling you about. So up here you can see that all of these triggers are basically all different lead forms that we've tried and tested. So only one of these is actually active right now, but we've tested a lot of different type of lead forms, naming the offer, like I said, and changing that to be more appealing. So that's why we've got a whole bunch of triggers, but this basically starts this funnel. So when they're submitting a form on Facebook, it starts this whole process, which is very important because this is how we're able to follow up almost instantaneously with our potential beauty clients. So you can see here that it starts off with creating an opportunity. So that just creates that client inside of this software so that she can see it. And we quickly add a tag as well, just so that we know that they've come from Facebook. And then this is where the real follow-up starts. So we wait 4 minutes after they've come into our ecosystem, and then the client gets notified immediately that there's a new lead that she can contact. An SMS then goes out, and that goes straight to the new lead, basically asking them or thanking them for filling out the form, telling them that they've successfully claimed the offer, and then we wait 1 minute and we send an image. And this image is actually a graphic that is asking them what kind of treatment they would want, because this is for an eyebrow treatment. So we ask them exactly what sort of treatment or outcome would you like for your eyebrows. So this is very important. It gives them something to respond to. And if you just message them and ask them, when are you looking to book an appointment, it doesn't always work. What you would rather do is ask something that is going to start a conversation with them, and it's much more likely that you're going to get a response, and then you're able to call them and actually engage with them to book them in. The rest of this process is more of a lead collection and preventing leads from slipping through the cracks. So you can see that we wait 3 hours, and if they have not replied, we then send them another message. We wait another day, and if they have not replied, we send them another message. And I think this one is around 2 days, and then this one is around another 3 days. And you can see that it just continues, it just keeps going. We have a very long list of follow-ups here. And at any point, if they respond to any of these follow-up messages, they're removed from this workflow and the client is notified so that she can reply to them. So we're not just endlessly spamming people if they respond, because if people respond, we obviously don't want to keep following up with them. We want that to turn into a real conversation. So you can see that we have about 5 or 6 follow-ups to ensure that we're actually converting these people into a converted appointment. And this is very important because most people do not reply to messages the first one that they get. You do need to follow up with people because people are very distracted, they're very lazy, and they will forget. And most times they actually appreciate the follow-up. They never really reply with, stop texting me or that sort of thing. So this is very important that you set something like this up. If you are just following up manually, you will not be able to convert these people into booked appointments at a high rate as what this client is doing, because you need to be able to automate that immediate touch up so that you stay fresh on their mind as soon as they submit their inquiry. So now I'm going to go into the ad account. I'm going to show you how we structured the ad account and how you will set up your ads so that you can integrate your form into this software. And then when people are filling out the form saying they're interested, you can do the exact same thing and follow up immediately. Okay, so now I'm in a fresh ad account and I'm going to show you exactly how to build out the exact campaign structure that we were using. So you're going to create a new campaign. You're going to go to leads because we want inquiries. You're going to click on manual leads campaign and your campaign is going to pop up, and we're going to just call this campaign high ticket beauty leads test. Now, there's nothing that you really need to change on here, but you do have to select your daily budget. I wouldn't recommend running ads with less than $30 a day. This client has ran on $30 a day for quite a while, but they're now spending up to $60 a day because they're getting so many leads and they're converting them. But I wouldn't recommend going lower than $30 a day. So if whatever 30 Australian dollars is to you, just convert it, and then that's what you need to work with. Now, here is where the main difference in a lot of campaigns is going to be, is we want to use instant forms. So this means that when someone actually taps on the ad, they're going to be able to fill out their information on Facebook. So they're not going to go to your website and fill out an application. They're going to fill out their info all inside the app, which means that it's all tracked. You know exactly how many leads you're getting, and Facebook can optimize to find people similar to those that are already filling out the lead form. Now, the ad set level is where I would just basically name your location. It doesn't really matter what you name this, but let's just say that I'm in Melbourne, for example. So let's just put a Melbourne campaign. And then we are going to set up the location targeting. So I've just scrolled down and past the pages. Once you've selected your page, you'll come down to the budgeting and audience controls here. Now you'll notice you don't have to select your budget because your campaign's already at $30 a day. So you've already done that. And you can see here, it knows I'm in Australia. So if we were going to do Melbourne, let's pick a suburb in Melbourne. So let's go Carlton. And we'll pick where we are. So let's just pick the Carlton Gardens. So let's just say, as an example, your business was here. You would select roughly what your location targeting is. So if the furthest customer that you have comes, from 10 miles away, maybe you would select 10 miles as the targeting. And that's going to mean that anyone in this area can receive your ads. I would just make it as small as you potentially can, because you don't want to have a bunch of leads from people who are just going to reply and say, oh, it's too far for me to drive, especially in the early stages. So even if customers do come from 10 miles away, I would probably cut this down to like 7 miles. So you're only going to get people who are quite close to where your business is. Here, what I would do is add a audience suggestion and change the genders to women. Most beauty businesses serve only women. You obviously will have male customers, but it's just not really worth it a lot of the time to run ads to men as well, when you know that most of the people coming in are going to be women. So I would leave it at women. And if you have a particular age that you service, so for example, maybe you find that you don't serve 18 and 19-year-olds because they don't have enough money to spend on high-ticket beauty treatments, you might put your minimum age at like 22 or something like that. You might also not want to serve women over 65, so you might move your max age down to 60. This is all up to you, but obviously the less people that you're including, the less people your ads will be shown to. So you need to make sure that this falls in exactly the type of people that you would like to serve. Now, you can just leave everything else. This is all you need to do. Don't play around with interests or anything like that. And then you're going to come into your ad. So once you're in the ads platform, all you're going to do is start uploading your images and videos so that you can actually start creating ads. Now, some of this stuff is going to be blurred because I have some client information popping up that it wants me to use. So you're going to come into media and you're going to be able to select an image. So you're going to select an image, just pick images of work that you've already done. So if you're advertising some sort of lash service, just put a picture of someone who has actually got the treatment done. That's all you need to do. Don't overcomplicate it. Your primary text, you should basically just make it about the offer that you're running. So if it's a special promotion, so you could say, $100 off new lash clients this month in Melbourne. And then you would have a bunch of other information about the service, everything else like that. Your headline is just going to be your offer. So you're going to do $100 off lash, just go XYZ in Melbourne. And then you're going to click your call to action and make this learn more. Learn more is just the one that I've used the most, and I find that it works the best out of all the other ones. So that's what I would use. And then you're going to come here and you're going to create a form. Now, when you create the form, this is the part where people are actually going to fill out their information. So you can see that you have a few options here. I would just select more volume because that's what I do with all of my clients. And then the intro is where you can actually have the headline and all of the information on the form. So I would just have the background image as use the image from your ad, because that just keeps it consistent. When people click on the form, they're going to see the exact same image. And then just here, you're just going to say $100 off for XYZ treatment. If that's the offer you're running, you might be offering some other sort of discount or package bundle, but that's what you're going to do. And then you can just make this right here, fill out a few questions, and we'll be in touch. Now here you can ask questions to basically get information, but you can also ask questions about what they've done before. So you have the option of adding some multiple choice and short answer questions. So you might ask a question and say, have you had XYZ treatment before? And that might be the only question that you add in. And then you're going to ask people for their phone number, their email, and their full name. And you will have to just provide a little description of how you're going to use their information. You can just say we'll contact you via SMS or phone number. If you have questions that you actually do want to have answered beforehand, it's a very good way to also filter out low quality leads, because if you have a bunch of questions here that they have to fill out beforehand, then it's much less likely that you're going to get time wasters or bots filling out your lead forms. So I would recommend adding 3 questions at least in this section to improve your lead quality and make sure that the people that are inquiring are actually serious about getting the treatment. Once you've got their name, phone number, and email, which you definitely need to get their phone number so that you can set up your automated follow-up system, you then just go to privacy policy. You need to add a link to your privacy policy here. And then you also need to add a message at the end, which is just for the message that people will see. You can just leave it as default and then add your website link here. And then you're going to create your form. Now, I'm not going to create a form here because this is not a lead form that I actually need. But basically, once you have that created, you can now duplicate your ad right here that you've already created, and you can just replace the images in each one. So what I would do is finish making this ad, hit publish, and then you'll come back into this screen and then duplicate this ad again using the same lead form and use a different image. And I would do at least 4 or 5 different images. And then once you have 5 images in this one ad set, then you can come back to your campaign and switch it on and have your ads actually go live. So that would mean that you have 5 different ad images. They all have the same headlines, the same primary text, and the same lead form, but they have different images in each one so that you can test which image people are responding to the most. Then once you've set all of that up, you would obviously go into your high-level account and link up your Facebook lead form so that you can then follow up with them immediately. You don't have to use high-level. I do have a free trial for it in the description. So if you want to set up an automated SMS system for free for the first 2 weeks, you can do that in the link below. But if you don't have an automated follow-up system, you could just find your leads on Facebook and download them yourself. However, you aren't going to be able to contact them as quickly as you would if you were using a platform like High-Level. But that's basically the entire system that I use to create a $46,000 revenue from Facebook ads and Go High-Level. So if you are interested in having me run your ads, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm very active on there. So you can reach out to me and I can help you run your ads or set up your High-Level account. But if you learned something from this video, which I hope you did, feel free to drop a subscribe or drop a like, because I'll be posting more videos like this showing you exactly how I set up my lead generation campaigns and help grow businesses. But yeah, other than that, that's really all I have. And yeah, I hope you learned something.